Easter Hymn by A. Housman, 1859 to 1936. If in that Syrian garden age is slain, you sleep and know not you are dead in vain, nor even in dreams behold how dark and bright ascends in smoke and fire by day and night the hate you died to quench and could but fan. Sleep well and see no morning, Son of Man. But if the grave rent and the stone rolled by, and the right hand of majesty on high you sit, and sitting so remember yet your tears, your agony and bloody sweat, your cross and passion, and the life you gave, bow hither out of heaven, and see and save. Okay, this is a poem by Alfred Edward Housman, normally known as A. Housman. He came from Bromsgrove in Worcestershire. He went to St. John's College, Oxford, and he was a great classicist. He taught Latin at the University of Cambridge. Now, also, the other important thing to understand with this poem is that Housman was an atheist. He didn't believe in God. And I think this poem is a poem which he doesn't believe, but he would like to believe if given good reason to do so. But he finds it difficult to believe, or impossible to believe for various logical things, and this poem is partly what it's saying. He says that if Jesus was the Son of God, then sleep on, because you're never going to know what the problems that have come since your death. Yeah, you died to stop people hating each other, and you just made things worse. So that's one possibility. So if you're the Son of God, if you're the Son of Man and not the Son of God, then sleep on. But if you are the Son of God, then why are you just sitting there and doing nothing? Why are you doing nothing in this world? Why are you doing nothing to improve the situation? Come down and do something about it. Come down and continue your work, because your work is clearly not finished yet. So if you are the Son of God, why haven't you come and done something? Now, this poem was only published after Housman died, and this is probably because if he had published it, it would have been seen as anti-Christian and against the church, and it would have been seen as anti-religious, and this was too risky to publish, that he would have been in terrible trouble for publishing an anti Christian poem like this criticism. And this is something that was just too hot for him to publish, particularly in that time, because he's saying, well, maybe Jesus wasn't the Son of God, in which case you don't know what's happened since then, and if you are, why haven't you come down and done something about it? And I think that's really what it's saying. So, if in that Syrian garden age is slain, you sleep and know not you are dead in vain. So if you're sleeping in the Garden of Gethsemane, if you were buried after you were executed on the cross so many years ago, and you're sleeping and you don't know that you died in vain. Notice this, in vain, you are dead in vain. This is a very strong phrase, because it's saying that you died in vain. Nor even in dreams behold how dark and bright ascends in smoke and fire by day and night the hate you died to quench and could but fan. So you don't know, if you're asleep and you don't know, even in your dreams, how bad things are, that the fires that burn by day and night, and the hate that you died to stop, and you did nothing for it. You only made the situation worse. You fanned the flames. Sleep well and see no morning, Son of Man. Now notice as well, this is called Easter hymn, and this is about resurrection. But if you were just a son of man, then continue. You're never going to be resurrected, and you're never going to know that even though you died in vain, that the hate you tried to stop has only got worse. You only made the situation worse. You only made things worse. But if, again, the previous one was but if, so the first one is, if you're a normal mortal man, then sleep on, because you don't know the problems that you caused. But if you really are the Son of God, if the grave rent and the stone rolled by, so this is the history of Easter. If the grave was broken open and the stone was rolled away, and you were resurrected, okay, because this is the Easter tradition which celebrates the resurrection, and it's describing the important moment. So the stone was rolled away. At the right hand of majesty on high you sit. So if now you're sitting on the right hand of God, if you're now sitting with God, so remember yet your tears, your agony and bloody sweat. So remember all of the suffering you went through before that resurrection. Your crying, your agony, the sweat of blood, which was part of this. The crucifixion. So remember how you suffered for man. Yeah, if all of this is true, and you were resurrected and went back up to heaven, and went back up with God, remember the suffering you went through, your cross and passion and the life you gave. So remember the passion. So passion here is a word with, I think, double significance, because it can mean the passion, the strong feeling that you had about saving man, or the passion of Christ, which is this is to do with a word they use for the crucifixion, and the life you gave. So if you remember all of this, if this is what was real and you are resurrected, bow hither out of heaven. So come down from heaven and see what's happening and save us. So if you're not the Son of God, then you're not going to know what's happening. But if you do, look what's happening in the world around us. Come out of heaven and save us. And this is a criticism of the Christian church. So if Jesus is mortal, then he doesn't know what's happened in his name. And if he is, why hasn't he come down and done something, done something about it, done something to stop it? And as I said at the beginning, I think the reason that this poem was never published in his lifetime was he would have come in for severe criticism for this anti-Christian message. So, Easter Hymn by A. E. Housman.